Hey, what if I told you that the biggest company in the world right now is facing a threat that no competitor, no government regulation, and no market crash could fully replicate, a threat coming from the very people handing it billions of dollars every single year? That's exactly the situation Nvidia finds itself in, and honestly, it's one of the most fascinating business stories playing out in tech right now. So here's the setup. Nvidia has had an absolutely legendary run. We're talking about a company that went from making graphics cards for gamers to essentially becoming the backbone of the entire artificial intelligence revolution. Their H100 chips, and now their Blackwell architecture GPUs, are the gold standard for training and running AI models. Companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta have been pouring tens of billions of dollars into Nvidia hardware. We're talking about orders so massive that there are literal waiting lists just to get your hands on these chips. But here's where it gets really interesting and a little uncomfortable for Nvidia. Those exact same companies, the ones spending the most money on Nvidia GPUs, are quietly, and sometimes not so quietly, building their own custom AI chips designed to do exactly what Nvidia's chips do. Google has been doing this for years with their tensor processing units, their TPUs. Amazon has their Trainium and Inferentia chips. Microsoft is deep into developing their own silicon. And Meta has been investing heavily in custom AI accelerators as well. Now, why does this matter so much? Think about it this way. If your biggest customers are also becoming your biggest potential competitors, that's a very different kind of threat than what AMD or Intel could ever throw at you. AMD is trying to catch up on performance benchmarks and pricing. But when Google or Microsoft builds their own chip, they're not trying to sell it to anyone else, they're trying to cut you out entirely from their own massive infrastructure spending. And the numbers here are staggering. These hyperscale cloud companies, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, they collectively represent an enormous chunk of Nvidia's revenue. Some analysts estimate that a significant portion of Nvidia's data center business, which is now by far its largest segment, comes from just a handful of these tech giants. So if even one or two of them start shifting workloads away from Nvidia GPUs toward their own custom silicon, you're talking about billions of dollars in potential revenue that just quietly disappears. Now, to be fair, Nvidia isn't exactly sitting still watching this happen. Their CUDA software platform is still one of the most powerful moats in all of technology. Developers love it, AI researchers are trained on it, and the entire ecosystem of AI tools and frameworks is deeply intertwined with Nvidia's hardware. Switching away from that isn't just a hardware swap, it's a massive engineering undertaking that takes years and costs serious money. And Nvidia keeps innovating at a pace that's genuinely hard to match. By the time a company finishes designing and deploying their own custom chip, Nvidia has often already released the next generation of hardware that leapfrogs whatever was just built. It's like trying to race someone who keeps moving the finish line. But the trend is real, it's accelerating, and Wall Street is starting to pay very close attention to it. Barron's flagged this dynamic as something investors need to take seriously, because the long-term revenue trajectory for Nvidia looks very different if its best customers gradually become more self-sufficient. So the next time you see headlines about Nvidia's dominance and its trillion-dollar valuation, just remember sometimes the most dangerous competition doesn't come from a rival trying to beat you. It comes from a partner who's quietly learning everything they need to not need you anymore.